Welcome to the Cali Sober Mom podcast. Monica and Britney are changing the conversation about motherhood, cannabis, and mental health, considering themselves unhinged Martha Stewart adjacent. Monica is a previous corporate America warrior turned mom and voice in the cannabis and consumer advocacy world. Britney is an artist, business owner, mother, and mental health advocate. Now, here are your hosts, the Cali Sober Moms.
Welcome back to Cali Sober Mom, where we blend all kinds of things because we refuse to niche down, damn it. A lot of the time, though, we're talking about cannabis, motherhood, and being millennial women in a world that was not built for us, but we've decided to change that. Today, you are welcomed by Britney Brown. I am a millennial neurodivergent entrepreneur that randomly used to be Monica's locker partner, and now I'm her co-host and co-founder of Cali Sober Mom.
And I am also a recently diagnosed neurodivergent millennial mother that is finding out how to be a millennial mother because I spent the last 20 years numbing through life. Like, I was still there. I had an amazing life, but the real world was yucky. And so alcohol numbed it. So now I'm awake, and now you're all going to be awake.
Unfortunately, our world is really intricate and complicated and nuanced. And we've decided to deep dive into some of those things because, to be honest, we think someone should. So that's what we're doing. And a huge component of that is figuring out how to break down some of those walls. In this case, we're going to be looking at kind of our why we are choosing to do what we're doing, why we're choosing advocacy, why we're choosing authenticity, and what pieces of that mean to us when it comes to making choices for ourselves, for our families, for our businesses, for our dollars.
For humankind.
Duh, obviously. So it's a little bit different today. Typically, Monica leads us, especially if we're interviewing people. But some of my background comes in project development and in creative thinking and in using Gestalt thinking. Monica, do you know what Gestalt thinking is? Because I'm going to explain it to you.
I have no clue. I was actually in my head thinking about how nice it is to sit back and be led. Because as millennial mothers,
nice sometimes.
We know we are always leading the shit show. Like, someone's got to do it. So I have no clue what you were talking about.
It's okay. No worries. I got you.
Lead me, my friend. Lead me.
It's one of the reasons that our partnership works so well is because we're both so used to being the bad bitch in charge that it's nice to be able to have a mental breakdown for a couple weeks and have somebody else kind of cover you for a minute. And it's actually where I'm leading all of my, entrepreneurial ventures is I don't want to do this solo anymore. It's too hard. I want other people to do this with me. I want people to bounce ideas off of. And we're on a unilateral, equal level of respect, but kind of taking our own niches and seeing how we can help each other. And maybe it's just me, maybe it's a little socialist utopian of me, but I'm happy running my, capital earning money life within those systems that help and do social good. I think that's okay. And that's what I love helping other people do is finding the things that they're passionate about, that they don't mind being authentic in their industry and helping them too. So today, we're going to walk through Monica's why, because that's something I'm really good at.
When you said, let me help Monica find her why, I just want to say real quick, like when this whole thing was just starting, like I was 3 months into alcohol free, dealing with this crazy postpartum depression. Everyone's like, you've got to go to therapy. And I had this idea that therapy was you cry about your childhood. They tell you everything that's wrong with your parents and you move on. That's honestly what I thought it was. And so when I went, do you know what the first thing was that I told her?
What?
All I said was, I want to know who I am. And she's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know who I am. I was like, you just asked me if something makes me happy. I was like, I just do things. Like, I don't know how to identify something as happy. I don't know how to identify something as sad. Like, and it seems so weird and it seems so simple, but I did not know who I was. And that's what I've been doing this year.
That's a super autistic trait, right? That's super, super common in folks with autism. Just fun facts to know and share.
100%. I'm sure I have it. We haven't even got to that conversation in my my diagnosis therapy yet.
Neither here nor there. Ultimately, if the tools work for you, it doesn't matter what your diagnosis is. And that is a hill I will die on for the rest of my life. That is one of my advocacy pillars, for the record. But we're not talking about me today, Monica. We're talking about you today.
Help me dive more into my why, because it is so important. And this is where this whole thing actually started.
It really is. So one of the things that I learned about myself is that if you give me the steps of a project, but don't show me the final project expectation, I have no idea what the hell we're doing. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I am annoyed by the fact that I'm having to do these steps without an end game. I'm going to try to jump ahead to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing because this doesn't make sense. I will go to the end of the test and figure out where we're headed because, oh my God. And that's one of those pieces that I had to learn about myself because it got in the way of so many learning opportunities for me because they weren't set up for how I learn. I am Photoshop. I need to see the final fucking picture and then build up to get there. I need to then go back in and work on the details and the minutia, but I need a big picture item to focus on to then get there. Monica is an Excel spreadsheet. She likes data broken down into teeny tiny pieces. And what we're going to do is break down some of these pieces for her.
Also, I am just give me what the goal of this is. Like, what's the mission? And then I'm going to analyze it back here and give you the most efficient way to get there.
Monica needs a dashboard broken down by metrics.
Do you know, A, how much I love dashboards?
I know.
B, I worked for a Berkshire Hathaway company that had spent millions of dollars on Salesforce and they weren't using it. I built the shit out of those reports, those dashboards. I was training. Yes.
I know. I know who you are at your core, girl. You need not explain to me. But what I think we're going to do today is talk through. I'm going to ask some questions. And realistically, I want you to ask yourself these questions too. If you're listening today, I want you to think about it. I want you to think about why the fuck you're doing what you're doing. What matters to you? Why do you give a shit? And at the end of the day, where are you putting your energy, your time, your money, your social engagement, your advocacy, where you're supporting with charities, where you're supporting with initiatives?
What you're teaching your kids, what you're continuing on the next generation with,
what you're watching, what you're consuming. All of these things add up to create who you are. And if you are choosing different things than where your values align, shit's not going to work. It's not going to work. It will not play out for you. I promise you that.
Or you'll end up on a lot more pharmaceutical drugs. You'll have more stress. You'll have, oh, yeah.
And not even from a standpoint of like bad things happening. You just won't get that feeling of click, like things are making sense and you're actually doing what you really care about. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I think all of us just want to kind of be fucking happy, be safe, pay our bills, raise good kids, and just kind of live life. Yeah, there's other auxiliary goals, but at their core, that's what most of us are really doing. And I think that if we break it back down to that and find those pieces of our why and how we can affect change in the world, then we should. I think that that is a good thing. So we're going to do it. All right. My God. Here we are. We are here. We're doing this. Okay. So I want you to think about who in your life or who you've seen in industries that have done things. And for the record, I'm going to turn off your mic like we should our former president during debates. You have actually 30 seconds to fucking answer.
Oh, I don't get to think about it. Go to commercial, make up a story. Okay.
Well, the answer is huge. So there's that.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. I want to know who you have admired in the industries where you have focused. I don't want you necessarily to think about what you believe in, but I want you to think about people that you've admired, that you've either interviewed or seen or did things that you're like, damn, yeah, but pop off. Yes, do that. That's brilliant. I want you to give me one human. And if you think of a second and after 30 seconds, I'll take it.
Oh, this is so hard to decide because one person that I think will always stick with me, her name is Paula Newell. She was a VP for Court, which is a Berkshire Hathaway company. And she's now, I think, like chief operating officer. The woman has grinded. And one thing about this industry, and that company specifically, is it used to be family owned before it sold to Berkshire Hathaway. And it was the epitome of an old boys club, the absolute epitome. And the trauma I carry from being brought into a company that I was not told was still operating as an old boys club, and the coaching that I got from her. I went to this corporate educational thing, and she was my assigned coach. And she knew when to speak and she knew when to not speak. And she carried herself very well. And I always was impressed with her. And even now, seeing where she got and probably the stories she could come out and tell and go absolutely anywhere would be amazing. But she's continuing on where she's at. And I think it's because she has bigger goals to show you can get there as a woman too. And I just enjoy watching her and seeing where she's going.
For the record, I am taking notes next to me while Monica is saying things, and I'm going to do a wrap up at the very end based on the things that she tells me. And I'm probably going to create a visual version of this too, because we are here for equitable, accessible learning moments. And I learn via infographic. Remember, I'm Photoshop and Monica is Excel. So what's interesting is that I'm listening for different things that she's saying that she probably hasn't thought about in a really, really long time, but that could potentially help her define different areas of her career or her future that she could be investing in that she already loves and knows a lot about. And I think that that's one of those areas that we get really stuck in our day-to-day bullshit and kind of forget that we're actually brilliant and we know smart, funny, successful people who know how to do really cool things and who probably already have some answers or connections for us. And instead of being stuck on the minutia of why did my marketing thing only make $6, we end up realizing that we're in this for the long haul, and the long haul actually involves making connections, right?
100%. You know me, I love me some networking.
I know you do. Miss LinkedIn. I see you over there. It's fine.
My entire life has been networking. When you look at it,
it's true.
Everything I have done in life has been based on relationships.
It's true. Okay, next. Where have you seen a need in the market that any of the niche markets that you are interested in, whether that is advocacy, whether that is cannabis, whether that is parenting, whether that is mental health, anything that would be on one of your interest bubbles, if we were talking about the things you're into, where have you seen a need that was recently met that you admired? It can be a company or an entity or whatever.
Off the top of my head was our last interview with Livy. There is the unknown of hemp and cannabis and yes, there are people out there that are flower experts and they're cannabis experts. And there's so many great things, but that's like being the top sommelier, whatever you call it, of wine. That's a very small niche, and cannabis and hemp needs to be brought to the public and awareness so much more that coming in and what she's doing may seem so simple, like find your color and this and that, but there's so many of us that will never walk into a dispensary, and we're never going to feel comfortable talking to someone about some of the things that are bothering us or how to learn about this. And gosh, I remember the first time I was going to take like a little edible thing back in Mardi Gras last year. My friend said something and I was like, oh, what's this? He's like, girl, just download this. And it was some private browser. And he's like, and then Google this. And I was like, well, why don't I just Google on Google? And he said, well, I mean, if you want them to know you're looking up weed or marijuana or whatever it is. And that hadn't even like clicked to me, like these things. So all that to say, I think she's filling a need in a very scientific, responsible way that is really impressing me. And she has the ability. I look at the cannabis and hemp industry and say, oh, this could help. Oh, this could help. Oh, the public needs to know this. They need to know this. Like, I want to connect people to this information Whereas she has the structure and the ability to stay in one lane and become an expert at it. And I so admire people that can focus on that one thing that'll help people for so long.
I'm hearing you say that you love finding somebody that has taken the magic of connection and putting science and data to it.
I do love that.
Because that is absolutely what I see from you in the things that you have focused on and done really, really well in. Even back in your corporate world, you did a lot of online marketing things for different industries. And at the core, it was helping people feel confident in their decision making based on the data available to them. And I think that that's really one of your core tenets as a business owner, because that's kind of how you were raised in the corporate world, is to trust but verify, you know? And
Yes.
I think that that is very, very much what we're finding in our shared industries of advocacy is literally built on a mountain of trust but verify.
Yeah.
We find people who know what the hell they're talking about, and then we use data and science to back it up. And I think that that is what has been missing from our lives. We live in this world where
people can say whatever they want.
You literally can lie in I literally read an article yesterday in my Axios that the ability for politicians to lie is publicly protected by the Constitution. They can fucking lie and there will not be any repercussions for it.
Yeah. Someone told me the other day in a cannabis and hemp thing, I said something, and to me, it was such a valid point. And I said it, and they're like, well, you don't have the science, so it's a straw man argument. And I'm like, isn't this entire thing a straw man argument? Like, why do they get to say whatever, but I can't say whatever? And that's the more I'm learning. Like, if you say it with enough confidence, you can just say it.
Literally anybody's going to believe you. But that's the problem, is people will believe me
Yes.
when I say things with confidence. So I have to be able to back it up. So they know if I do say something, every damn time I can bring receipts.
But
I'm happy to bring you the receipts every time.
The sad part is, do you know how hard it is to be heard? That's what I think I'm struggling with, is I know that I'm connecting a lot of information that would help a lot of women in similar situations to us get just more awareness than probably what they're privy to via whatever channels that they're on. But it is so hard and it is so expensive to be heard when you're not doing something either controversial. So a lot of people will specifically like bait on social media to get big rises out of people. That's just not me. I'm not going to bait an argument to get pushed. And if it's not like shiny and consumerism and I'm going to make you beautiful or make you lose, false promises. And I really, I struggle with that.
I see that. I absolutely have seen that for you. Now, my question for you is, as a consumer, average, like say we take a total industry that we really don't have a whole lot of stake in, either of us, maybe say like the beauty industry. Neither of us really, I mean, it's something we both use regularly every single day, but neither of us have really any interest in going into it from a commercial standpoint, as far as I'm aware anyway.
I just started wearing makeup like a year ago, guys. Like,
most of my makeup is from Target.
In my 30s, I had to have a friend take me to a professional makeup person and say, teach me, because I'm now going into these meetings and I should probably be wearing something.
Or at least just feeling like the best version of yourself.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Best version. We'll just go with that.
Okay, so beauty. We have no interest in beauty. You will never see us enter the beauty market.
We are not going to be selling you any kind of beauty moment. That is not going to be happening.
If I ever present a makeup tip to you, scroll.
If I've been kidnapped, I'm going to start selling beauty tips on my TikTok. You'll know I'm gone. But if you're looking at a different industry entirely, something we don't have any effect on, anything that we're aiming to be a part of, I want you to think about what authenticity looks like in that industry. How do you fucking believe shit? Tell me.
Real people. So this actually gets me, like, I'll walk in Walgreens, right? And you see Drew Barrymore all over this boxed hair dye. We all fucking know she is not using boxed hair dye. You see like Ava Longoria or Blake Lively doing this like CoverGirl chapstick, or Jennifer Aniston, I forget what, Aveeno. bitch, like, I don't even know if the products are good or bad. I just know that you were paid a lot of money and these products are affordable to the average person. And I highly doubt you're using that.
1,000%. It doesn't mean you weren't involved in development. I don't necessarily think it is a farce, but what I think it is a marketing play. I don't believe it because it doesn't feel real. And I think that is where a lot of our marketing gets really tricky, because you just said, I'm going to lawyer you for a minute. I really should have gone to law school. I'm brilliant sometimes. You literally just said we are chasing the sparkly, shiny dopamine, and that we, in an industry are constantly looking for the next most effective looking thing and beautiful. But then you turn around and look at an industry where you don't have any say and you're just a regular ass everyday mom consumer, and you're looking for real. You're looking for realistic. You're looking for actual humans. You're looking for reading reviews. You're looking for finding tips and tricks and tools that work for everyday moms. And we get stuck in our own fucking way, Monica. We get stuck in our own way. We are so good at creating this narrative about what we should or shouldn't be. And man, do we have a lot of work to undo that. Like all of us, as a collective, as a millennial, this primarily cisgender female collective, and any of our, she's, theys, and gays that would like to join us on this journey that maybe potentially fit into that realm as well. If you are female identifying, you're probably fucking experiencing this in our general society today.
Yeah.
And I hate that for us because it's mixed messaging our brain. It sucks. It's because we're constantly telling ourselves we're not doing enough to build up our own stuff while we're out seeking in other industries the bare bones of, like, my best friend said it worked really well and actually covered up my terrible dark circles. Like, yeah, that's what we're looking for. Those are the things that people want and need in their lives. So yeah, it might take a little bit longer, but if you don't sell out, if you don't buy all the ads, if you truly go based on real recommendations and real advocacy and real learning, you're going to get real results and real humans and real engagement. And I think that, my friend, is maybe the most important lesson any small business owner can learn.
Any person too.
I've been trapped by the idea of, somebody buying out my company and being able to do X, Y, and Z. It's so easy to make choices that are less than ideal when there are big dollar signs behind it.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's a trap because we've grown up in this old boys club. Fuck the old boys club. I want the new girls club.
I do too.
Welcome to the new girls club, bitch. That's where we live. You can come hang with us.
You can sit with us.
The new girls club, and you can sit with us.
I do want to say, I'm going to be that person for a second. Like the new humans club.
Yes, the new humans club.
There's a lot of dudes that are disenfranchised by this too. And there are some really good dudes out there that just don't know. They don't know because they've never had to experience it.
And then when they start to learn, they immediately are picking up more information and more information.
Yes. Like anything I tell my husband, of course, he automatically gets like a little bit defensive. But once I break it down, he's like, wow, I never knew what you went through that. Or I didn't even think about it that way, or I didn't. And so.
And it is that piece of self-advocacy for information to go and look and be like, I don't know what I don't know. Who knows that? And how can I ascertain where they're coming from?
And we're not going to get there as women in like this new girls club without the support of men too. We're going to need the men that understand to fight with us.
Oh my God. It's the decent humans club.
It's the decent humans club. That's really what it is. This is a topic for another episode. But one thing that like drives me crazy about everything in this world right now is the duality. There's the yes or the no. There's the girls or the guys. There's the Republican or Democrat. Nobody lives legitimately in duality. We all live across a spectrum. And the more we stay in this dual black or white, we're just missing out on so many connections and opportunities. And so I don't know why I got so defensive about making it human club instead of girls club, but
Because I think you're right. I think that's why you got defensive, because that's the reality of it. And if we, you and I, and anybody we welcome into this, decent human club circle of who we're talking to, whether that's Livy, whether that's you get Paula on and hear, what makes her want to do what she's doing as this HBIC that's running corporate America. Fucking yes. I want to know how they're doing what they're doing, why they're doing it like that, and what it means to them. I want to know why people are passionate. I want to know why people have the audacity to keep fucking going.
Yeah.
I have been in this Goldman Sachs program. I know you know this. We spoke about it at our last episode. And I'm on week 2. And I can give you this wrap up of saying we had to do this thing, whatever, exercise in our team tables. We had to come up with the things that we thought made a business, like what makes a good business. And everybody was yelling out answers like creativity and flexibility and blah, blah, blah. And my dumbass, shocker, yells out audacity, because I think you have to be fucking audacious to have a successful, growth positive business today.
And just mindset, whether you're doing a business or not.
And our leader actually put it on all 4 boards because we were looking at human capital, looking at what we needed for ideas, what we needed for money, and what we needed for, et cetera, future planning kind of things. It was different types of, okay, we need, creativity in our growth and our marketing. And so we were organizing them out. But he put audacity on all 4 boards. And that made me realize, oh, you don't get to go back in the box, B. You don't get to. That's not my path. My path is connecting humans that want to be audacious as fuck.
And then you met me.
And well, you've been here, but that's cool. But I love it. I love being able to find that for people and connect people. So my ask, what do they call that?
Call to action.
My call to action, thank you, Monica. This is why we keep her around. I'm not good at these things. My call to action is I want you guys to reach out to us, whether that is shoot us an email, comment on one of our posts. I'm going to make sure we post about this week. I want you to put on our radar anybody in any industry. I do not care what their gender alignment is. I do not care what their political alignment is. I do not care what their age is. I do not care. None of these things. Religion doesn't matter. Location doesn't even matter to me. I don't care. I want to know who's out there doing epic shit, who's being audacious as fuck, who's challenging status quos, and who's doing things because that's what needs to fucking be done. Mm-hmm. And I think I want to challenge you to find somebody I don't know about, and I want to learn about them. And
me too.
I think it could be kind of a really cool way for Monica and I to continue our journey and figuring out how we can best serve the people that we are representing. So,
yeah.
Fine. We're just going to elect ourselves president. We're out. Britney and Monica for
2028.
2028.
See y'all next week.
Thanks for listening to the Cali Sober Mom podcast. The best way for us to get the word out is you. So share this episode with someone you know who will enjoy it. And be sure to follow Cali Sober Mom on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're consuming the show right now.